Oh, the camera's on. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Phil Burnell, aka DarkSydePhil here. Fuck off, you're gone, don't come back. I need money! I need money! Sounds to me like I might have gout. Shame on you! If you've ever made a "this is how you don't play" about me, they're rich. I'm not.
Because Kojima's a fucking cocksucker.
Thanks for the money, stupid fuck.
Why am I toxic?
At the end of 2013, DSP would receive a message from Howard. Howard, a friend from Connecticut, would inform Phil that a mutual friend had passed away. DSP would take this information and make one of his very first videos have a segment dedicated to this friend.
Really, I haven't heard from Scott in a long time, and then all of a sudden this week I kind of got a few messages from people like Howard and a few other people back home who knew Scott, who kind of texted me and said, "Phil, I don't know if you heard, but Scott passed away." And I'm like, damn, you know, I don't know what it was from, and is it a shock? Yeah, but at the same time, I haven't seen the guy in so long. I mean, anything could have happened. You know what I mean? Like, anything could have happened. Who knows what happened to the poor guy?
DSP would monetize this video, again drawing backlash that he was monetizing another dead friend. According to Howard, when he told DSP that Scott had passed away, he wanted DSP to contact him, but DSP's first move was to make a video about Scott's death. This incident ended his friendship with Howard, and Phil would be isolated from his most notable friends from Connecticut. In the same video that had a segment dedicated to Scott's death, DSP would talk about his Patreon, something he had discussed at the end of last year. Apparently, DSP wanted to set Patreon up earlier, but he couldn't due to a detractor stopping him.
This is a way for you to basically support myself in my efforts to continuously put out the content that I do on a daily basis. So rather than just saying, oh, Phil has a PayPal account, I'm going to try to send him several $100s. No, this is an agreement that I'm going to continue to make ongoing content for you, and that you are going to basically try to go the extra mile to support me doing that. Financially, basically. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. That's what it is. You know, this past year, when I did move to the state of Washington, I lost a chunk of my viewing audience for whatever reason. I don't know if it was because they didn't want to wait 2 to 3 weeks for me to move. I don't know if something pissed people off. And the bottom line is there's no reason to even dwell on it or worry about it, because I'm moving forward positively and I'm doing what I'm doing. And, you know, I have to at least find a way to make up for that in order to continue doing what I'm doing and to pay my bills. Unfortunately, like I said, the move is really what's holding me back right now, is the fact that I have a bunch of debt racked up from moving to the state of Washington. Now, within a certain period of time, I should be able to get paid off. But right now, I can't take a huge, dip in income because of this happening. Because there is an idiot on there who's impersonating me and thinks it's funny to say nasty things about me and make a fake account, which, by the way, violates Patreon's terms of service. The problem is I don't know what's going on, because both myself and multiple people has sent notices to Patreon saying, please take down this falsified DarkSydePhil channel because it's not legit. It even says right on it it's a parody channel, which is against the terms of service of Patreon, and they still didn't take it down. It's been like over 3 weeks. They still didn't do it. So I don't know if they're just being lazy about it. I don't know if they don't read their inbox. I don't know if they've been gone for the holidays. You would think if you operate a legitimate business, they would take down accounts that say in big letters, parody account at the top, but they haven't done it yet. Once it's down, then I can set up my account, a real account, and we can start to have a dialogue about what kind of stuff would you like to see if you are a Patreon, right?
With a new year, DSP had the opportunity of becoming a new Phil. One of the first Ask the Kings of 2015 would be him describing how he's muting all the negativity on Twitter and his social media life has improved. Even though DSP was having a better time on Twitter, his fans were still experiencing negativity when trying to contact him, detractors harassing them. Phil would tell them to grow a thicker skin and just mute everyone else that's being negative and only talk to him.
Unfortunately, yeah, if you do try to contact me via a public social media, there's a high chance that you may get a negative element because of these people who just won't leave me alone. What I would say is this. If you feel like you like my content, you want to interact with me on a daily basis, Twitter is the way to do it. Twitter is the best way to do it, because I do see most tweets. I try to react to the ones that I can react to, and or, I won't directly respond to every tweet, and I won't directly answer every question, but I appreciate them. I usually get to see all of them, and I have a lot of fun when I'm tweeting at night. Oh, I'm watching this show. What do you guys think about it? Here's my opinion on this. What are you guys up to? Etc., etc. Those kind of social interactions are awesome, and I'm glad that I have them with you. But you got to have a thicker skin if you're going to do that kind of stuff and respond and react, because you're going to have these attackers. If you want to talk to me on Twitter and you try and you get attacked, mute the idiots and just talk to me, right? Or if there's, you know, anyone intelligent who's actually in the conversation isn't being a negative idiot. And that's how you approach it. And I've found in the past few months that I've been using mute instead of block, I've had a tremendously better Twitter experience. It's so much better because the idiots just keep throwing shit at the wall and it splatters there in their face. I never see it. And I get people now, right, who respond to me at the end of the day, Phil, man, I'm really sorry that this guy just kept tweeting you negatively today. You know, I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't see any of it, so it didn't bother me. And I'm sorry that you actually eventually saw it and got involved in it. Just mute that person. You'll never see that shit again. And that's how it should be tweeted. People who want to only be negative, who want to talk shit, who want to attack, need to be muted. Ignore them, right? You don't need to pay attention to that shit. If you're a positive person and you're not just about attack, you don't need to see that shit. And that's how I'm approaching it now. And I've had a lot better social media experience.
This new Phil was open to criticism, but it had to be positive criticism and it couldn't be broad. The criticisms had to be exact and tell him exactly how to fix the issues rather than telling him what the issue was.
Better or that it is pointless? I mean, that's a silly question to ask. Yes, criticism can both be your life's blood and your savior, and it could also be your absolute bane and your downfall, and it all depends on the kind of criticism, the context of the criticism, and also how the criticism is received. Positive criticism that's meant to be constructive can actually be received well, and it can actually help to improve a product, or it can be received poorly and ignored, and can force a product to become stagnant and or worse over time, all right? Negative and nasty criticism meant only for the reason, not for the previous person to improve, but to call out someone's faults, to deride them, to make them look bad, can become incredibly damaging to a person or business, which obviously I know fucking firsthand from all the shit that's happened to me in the past several years. I've run the whole gamut. And overall, I welcome criticism, but I hope that people understand that it has to be legit and it has to be positive meaning. The reason that I shut off criticism when I do is because a lot of the times it's either mean-spirited or it doesn't help. Telling me that my business is outdated and I need to change isn't constructive criticism. What that is just making an observation that I already know. The answer is, how do I survive? Do I completely change who I am as a person in a business, which I don't want to do? Do I tweak things here or there? Is there something that I can do to spin things in a more positive light? And the problem is there's no consensus. And this is what everyone seems to agree that Phil needs to listen to criticism and he can really help his business if he did, but there's no consensus on what the thing is that can be done to change, and that's the fucking problem, all right? And that's what people don't understand. It's easy to gang up on someone and say they need to change, but actually finding the things that definitively need to change, that's the thing that's harder, and that's what a lot of people don't want to hear. They just want to say someone doesn't listen to change or is resistant to criticism and change, rather than realizing there is no magic fucking solution to the problems of life.
A notable critic at this time was Dspgaming, who made parody videos of DSP, but would become a longtime fan of his. DSP would deem his criticism as constructive.
I'm going to give you an example of someone who I thought, quite honestly, did not like me. I thought that their intention was to hurt me. And after getting to know this person, I respect them greatly as a person. And I actually think that it's one of the most stand-up people that I've ever met on the internet. And I'm going to give him a shout out, and he might get pissed off about it, but I'm going to give him his props. His name is Dspgaming. This is someone who had gotten lots of popularity making fun of me, but said, no, I'm willing to help you. That is the kind of criticism I fucking need. And then they work with you positively. That's the kind of criticism that people need, all right? But the problem is there's an overwhelming amount of people, okay, where they think that because they took a video game series or playthrough that I did and they edit together the times when I failed, which, by the way, most people fail when they play video games. Most people don't fucking record that and then put it on the internet, all right? But you edit those epic fails or whatever, you make a "this is how you don't play" montage, you edit in some really negative shit that people said about me in the YouTube comments, you slap it and, wow, this is funny, oh, you know, I've said this a million times, it's like the TMZ of the internet is YouTube hates Phil because Phil is this kind of person who sucks at games, so let's all laugh at him collectively, right? Who cares what I'm doing in my private life. Who cares if there's a game that I sucked at? It shouldn't be big news, but they turned the most negative, one-sided shit into, like, drama, popular drama. And that's what happened with me is through the years of 2012 through now, is that people have become popular drama to make fun of me on YouTube. And that's not productive. There's a difference between constructive criticism that I can take to improve and literally just trying to fucking hurt someone.
Due to his financial situation, DSP would get a sponsor through Loot Crate advertising their products in standalone videos, something he previously said he wouldn't do and criticized other YouTubers for doing this in the past. DSP would also announce that he was now selling all the statues he had back in his Connecticut condo. He would say the motive for this is now that he's a more mature adult and he had debts, he needed to pay them down and sell them because he no longer needed the clutter in his life.
I'm juggling a lot of financial things, and when I moved here, I accrued a lot of debt. Me being a finance major and having lots of experience with this shit in my previous life before YouTube, I can tell you it's a horrible feeling when you're in crippling debt that seems like it never goes away no matter how much money you throw at it, okay? So I don't want to get into that situation. So when we moved here, and we looked at everything that I have, the one thing that kind of stuck out like a sore thumb is that when I lived in Connecticut by myself, okay, I had this big statue collection. Times have changed. I started this when I was 27. I'm 32 years old now. And I'm a lot more mature. I'm a lot different. A lot of people might scoff, ha, he's more mature. I do think I'm a lot more mature person. I've taken on a hell of a lot more responsibilities, living now full-time with my girlfriend Leanna, paying for these mortgages, you know, all this important stuff that adults have to do now. My life's changed dramatically. I'm looking at them, and they're just sitting in my storage nook. Okay? Now, some people have said, but Phil, why don't you buy shelving and hang it up on your wall and have all these statues behind you for your vlogs? Your walls are empty and all that. And I said, because I don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, I honestly, I blew money when I had more money than I knew what to do with. Then I grew up, I decided to spend money maturely and on things that are important and things that adults would want. And I don't need these statues anymore. I mean, if I had a ton of money, yeah, I would keep them. But I don't. I don't have a ton of money. And like I said, I have this debt that I accrued when I moved that I'd like to make a big dent in.
DSP would make videos selling each statue, revealing how much he spent on them, adding up to be thousands of dollars. Even though DSP was aware of his financial situation, he would take a week off to go on vacation in Seattle. He would vlog the whole week-long trip and call it a staycation because he practically already lived in Seattle. A week-long stay in a Seattle hotel was a costly vacation when he only lived 12 to 16 miles away from downtown Seattle. After the last 2 years, DSP's reputation in the gaming community had greatly diminished, but he still believed he held respect and influence in the gaming community. He would have business cards created so he can give them away at conventions.
So now what I want to show you is my new business cards, which I made, and they look very nice. And I'm going to be actually bringing these with me when I go to Emerald City Comic Con next month, and maybe hand some out, you know, and if I run into any fans or whatever, I'll hand some out and stuff like that. And it's also nice when I have contests and mailings, and I post them up sometimes when I go to different food places. They have those boards you can post business cards up just to get the word out. Anyone will tell you, Business 101, you own your own business, you got to get business cards. It's necessary. Even if it's internet-based, there's different ways to get the word out there, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and show you my new business cards. That's the business card, okay? So I know it's pixely because I blew it up for you, but this is what it's going to look like. Looks pretty cool, right? It's got that cool 8-bit art that I've been using for about half a year now. Special shout out to the viewer who made that for me. It's got all that information on there. I got rid of all the Twitch stuff because that's all outdated now. You got the Patreon on there now. You've got Twitter. You've got everything there. See that? So, pretty nice, right? A lot of stuff.
DSP had created business cards to give away to fans and to expand his business, but at this point in time, he had become a pariah among gaming creators. DSP would further isolate himself from other gaming creators by criticizing other creators for asking for people to hit the like button.
His question is, hey Phil, what are your thoughts on gaming YouTubers who rely on likes for them to decide whether or not they're going to continue playing a game? For example, they say, well, if my video gets 1,000 likes or 5,000 likes or 10,000 likes, I'll continue to play this game. And if they don't get those amount of likes, they stop playing it. I have to say this, ladies and gentlemen, anyone who's reliant on likes, first of all, doesn't even know what the fuck they're doing. Because a like is a like. Last time I checked, there's no partnership contracts on the planet that say if you get 10,000 likes on your video that you're going to get paid for it. Yes, there's an increased chance that if you have a lot of likes on your video that maybe it'll show up higher in a search result on YouTube. But equal to that, I'm still able to operate my business when there's tons of people who purposely vote down my videos, right? But I still make a living doing this. So obviously the likes to dislikes really don't control anything. I would almost go to say that people who are still asking for likes to continue a playthrough not only don't understand the YouTube system, but probably aren't doing it because they like the game. They're doing it to get views and to get popularity. I play games because I like them. Now, yes, there's exceptions to that rule where I might play a game because people have been begging me to play it for a long time and I give it a chance. Or on the flip side of that, there might be games that I like that because there's not a lot of viewership or not a lot of following, I'm forced to drop them.
One aspect of DSP that would constantly make him the butt of jokes in the gaming community would be him blaming the game for lag whenever he was performing poorly. This would be prevalent in the recent release of Mortal Kombat 10.
Wow, it's pretty delayed. No lie, it's really delayed. Oh my god, it's so delayed. Everything we're doing is so incredibly delayed, I can't believe we're even hitting each other. It's about a quarter second of input delay.
Due to Mortal Kombat being a recent release, many people were making content on this game. One person making content would be a familiar face, Justin Wong, someone familiar with DSP from his fighting game days. He would experience no lag while playing, and a fan would bring this up during an Ask the King segment.
From Dspgaming, he says, Phil, why do other MKX streamers like Justin Wong consistently have no lag and routinely hit their combos when they play online, but you consistently have lag problems? Why are you asking me? And I'm not trying to be insulting. I don't know. I've explained this in my review of MKX and every time that I stream MKX. I've now played fighting games on the East Coast, on the West Coast. I've played them on cable internet from 2 different coasts, non-business level, business level, without live streaming, with live streaming, various services, various speeds. It lags. I don't know what else I can possibly explain to you guys. Maybe Justin Wong, because all he does is he plays fighting games, maybe he found a place he can live where they gave him 2 internet lines to the same wall jack, so one goes to his modem for him to stream, and one goes to his console, and he has 2 separate internet lines in the same room, and it's not shared, and because of that he has no lag. That's not possible here. I looked into it. The guy said, no, there's no way you can have 2 internet lines in one room. You could have one downstairs and upstairs, but you can't have them both in one room. Not gonna happen. So yes, my internet has to go for the console and the streaming through the same internet line no matter what I do. The line I have, if the levels are performing like they say, shouldn't have lag. So the issue isn't my internet. The issue is the game, okay? Maybe because Justin Wong only plays fighting games, doesn't play every game like me, and probably all he's been doing for the past month is playing MKX, probably played a shitload more than me, probably played about 40 times more than I did online, and probably has mastered all his combos in a laggy environment. I didn't. A lot of the times when I'm playing the game, it's the first time I'm even playing with these characters at all versus a human, so of course I'm not able to deal with it. You know what I mean? You may have to play a shitload. I don't know. Where does Justin Wong live? I don't fucking know. And I don't care. So if you have questions about why other people don't have lag and I do, ask them what their connections are. All I can tell you is I have Comcast business level internet, the highest level possible in this area of the country. It's incredibly fast for everything I want to do, but when I play fighters, it lags. There you go. Okay.
DSP would push away other gaming content creators by criticizing them on how they make money. He would specifically criticize them for shouting out donations and subscribers, call them e-beggars, and say they only care about the money instead of gaming.
I am 1,000,000% against people who go on a live stream and all they literally do is they sit there and they pretend like they're there to play a game, but every 5 seconds a noise plays or a name pops up. Wow, thanks to this person who donated, and thanks to that person who donated, and thanks to this, and thanks to that. And you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. It's that, for me, if I'm going to do gameplay footage for you guys, I want it to be unadulterated, I want it to be real, and I want it to be not some kind of hyper-edited, faked stuff, staged stuff, or stuff that's constantly interrupted every few seconds, right? So that it becomes just a donation drive. And really, it disgusted me being on Twitch, where I knew this was a website where there were people daily, I'm not talking a couple people, hundreds of people, if not more, who made their entire living doing e-begging. The whole point of their stream was to sit there and say, please donate, please, do my Patreon. Please send me money. And every 5 seconds, there's noises about people sending the money. That's not what my content is about, and I want you guys to understand that even though I am adopting Patreon, that's not what this is going to become.
By March of 2015, DSP would have his Patreon page set up and begin plugging it in his various videos such as Weekend Preview, Hate Live, and his pre-stream podcast. In one particular Weekend Preview, he would describe how he'd rather have a bunch of fans donate $1 rather than a few fans donating a lot of money.
So, in the next week to 2 weeks, you'll hear me more talk about Patreon projects and stuff. Consider pledging $1 at least to my Patreon. It's like I said, I know a lot of people donated a ton in the month of February. That's not what I want. I want to see, a decent group of people who watch all my content donate $1 a month, and then we can hit our Patreon goals versus a small group of people donating a bunch of money every month. That's not what I want to see, especially with a lot of people who did that in the month of February. They're not going to do that twice, so they're going to reduce their goals because they got their cool perks, and now it's the next group, right? But I'd like to see a little, because if a ton of people give a little, we're good, and every month we could do fun, creative stuff.
Around this time, Panda Lee began making soap and selling it on Etsy. DSP would plug her soap on his various videos alongside asking fans to watch his videos and donate to his Patreon.
And people say all the time, well, how can we support you, but, if we don't like what you're putting out? Well, ladies and gentlemen, about a week ago, Leanna, my girlfriend, launched her own business. It's not gaming related at all right? But it is a business that I'm involved in, which is why I'm going to mention it in this video. It's called The Black Currant. It's a handmade soap and wax tart business, which she's been working on very hard behind the scenes for months on. Check it out. I think you're going to like it. Even if the site just gets a few views, it's better than nothing, but I'm hoping that some of you will try it out. We already had some great viewers who have placed orders. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate that, and we're hoping to build up a customer base because that's another business that helps me and her. You know what I mean? 3 ways to support now. Watch my content, Patreon, pledges, and The Black Currant, which is her business.
DSP's habit of plugging his Patreon throughout all his videos would annoy some of his fans and would beg the question in One Ask the King on why he plugs his Patreon so much.
Alright, this question is from AKFMN, and he says, why do you plug Patreon so much? Well, it's quite obvious. The reason I plug Patreon so much is the same reason that I plug products left and right on all of my streams. As you know, I constantly interrupt my content in order to ask for subs and donations and for you to buy my t-shirts and to buy my book and to buy my hat and to buy my underwear. And I'm constantly just shilling things nonstop during everything that I do. So it's because I just care about money. That I just can't help it. I'm so just enveloped in greed and money. I need money. I need money. It's a stupid question, because the bottom line is I don't plug Patreon so much. In fact, usually in the first couple weeks of a month, I don't even mention it. Maybe a couple streams a month, a week or two. In the pre-stream only, I mention Patreon. I think that's a fair trade-off. Like, seriously, I think it's a fair trade-off that I have to plug something, 10 times, 12 times a month, and it works out that everyone benefits. Like, do you not watch television? Do you think that things are on TV for free? No. There's advertisements that pay for the television, so you don't have to pay for it. How do you think I pay for this? It's not rocket science. I mentioned Patreon so that I can make the monies to get the equipment, to make the videos, to do the streams, and you watch the streams, you like the streams. And I'm not trying to insult this one particular guy. There's people who sometimes when I'm doing these Patreon plugs and stuff on a pre-stream, which isn't part of the gameplay, oh, Phil's just plugging this again? Oh, again? Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's life. Like, what? It's like 1 + 1 = 2. I make video content. I talk about Patreon, get some funds, plus the ad revenue equals I make more videos. Like, how does this not, like, why is this a question? Like, huh? Like, for anyone, it just seems to me like there's people on planet Earth. I want no advertisement. I don't have to ever spend money. I don't ever want to see an ad, but I want everything to come to me for free, right? I want you to bring me food, bring me delicious plates of hors d'oeuvres, bring me naked women to sit on my cock and spin, and bring me television entertainment programs, bring me everything. But I'm not paying for it, and I don't want to hear advertisements. Okay, maybe there's some person on Earth where that happens. I'm not that person, so I have to live like everyone else, and I have to find a way to make money. Patreon is one way for crazy good improvements to my content. Plus, me to make a little money to pay my bills while I'm still able to provide free videos for you. That's why I plug Patreon. That's the answer. That was silly.
Due to his constant plugging, detractors would be drawn to making videos about DSP and his various Patreon goals and plugs. One of the most notable detractors from this time would be Tevin, who would make videos criticizing DSP's Patreon and content. Around this time, DSP would reveal a medical issue that would spawn many detractor memes coming from it.
You probably can't see it very well because this is a 1080p webcam. It's not very clear. You probably can't, you can't even tell from that shot at all. My foot is incredibly swollen. You cannot tell from what I wanted to show you there. It's about, I'd say about 1.5 times the chubbiness of my other foot. It's swollen up out of nowhere. Now, at first, I thought maybe I had whacked it or I'd done something that caused that to happen. But then I woke up this Sunday morning, to excruciating pain. The thing had swollen up even worse than it had on Saturday. It was very bright pink. And it just literally just brushing it or even touching it with a light blanket to keep it warm hurt like crazy. So after doing a bunch of research online and after what everyone's been telling me, it sounds to me like I might have gout, which is...
Due to DSP's lack of credibility, X for Doubt was a common meme among detractors, and this would eventually evolve into X for Gout due to this recent revelation. Detractors would use DSP's live streams as an opportunity to ask him questions he wouldn't like and bring up past events. DSP would ban them from his chat, insult them, and in one instance encouraged his fans to harass the detractor.
I don't know if you can hear me or not. I got a serious question for you. When you were playing Kingdom Hearts and your girlfriend insulted the game in the stream chat, why did you put in the sub-only mode?
Enough of this. I'm not playing this idiot.
Just my question.
I'm not playing this idiot. I'm not gonna listen to his bullshit. We're talking about something that happened like 2.5 fucking years ago. What a complete idiot. The microphone is muted. Look, you can't even do nothing. Look.
You hear me, but I heard you insult me.
Ah, you're a piece of shit. Who gives a fuck? Seriously. Here, you know what? There. There. I don't have to hear this moron. Oh, a complete idiot. He's talking about something that happened 2 fucking years ago on Twitch. I mean, could you be more of a fucking loser? Seriously. The reason this guy joined my match was to do that. Not to play the game, not to have fun. He ruins it for everyone. Delays. People who want to play have to wait now, right? Because we have to listen to this fucking idiot. I mean, what? Ladies and gentlemen, you have found the epitome of a loser on the internet. Find that man, find his fucking tag on PSN, and I give you permission to spam his fucking inbox with enough nonsense so that he never fucking is able to do anything ever again. Seriously. What an asshole. He's talking about me playing Kingdom Hearts 1. That was 2 years ago. He's asking the dumbest fucking question ever. What a complete idiot. My god, we're playing MKX in 2015, you fucking loser. Wow. Anyway, if only I could figure out how to disable voice chat so I don't have to hear people do stupid shit like that, but I can't, because guess what? There's no easy way to do it on PSN. The guy had no fucking interest in playing the game. He just wants to waste everyone's time to bring stupid shit up from 2 years ago. That is the kind of guy who I want to punch. Like, that is the only way that idiot will ever learn anything is if someone knocks his fucking teeth out of his face. Then he won't do it anymore. But that's the problem. On the internet, everything's safe, right? Everyone could just troll anyone and do anything, say nasty shit, and bring up stuff from 2 fucking years ago. Because they're cowards. There's no way I could disable voice chat. So, we're going to be at the mercy of idiots who want to try to do that just to ruin the stream and ruin the gameplay for everyone. Oh, this is a good one. Why is it that when everyone asks a legitimate question that isn't some ego question for Phil, the person gets banned and the question gets called stupid? Because that doesn't happen, just that you're stupid, and you probably ask dumb fucking questions that really no one wants the answers to, besides drama queen teenage idiots who like to just enforce negativity into everything related to me instead of actually caring. So, fuck off. There you go. There's your answer. Oh, and by the way, have a good night outside of my chat.
In June of 2015, a detractor would take it to a new dangerous level, having Phil swatted. Swatting is the act of calling in a fake emergency in hopes of the police interrupting the livestream and even hurting the content creator. A detractor would call in claiming that Phil was threatening his girlfriend, Panda Lee, and the police would arrive, interrupting his stream of Batman.
Hold on. They all have these super... Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on, everyone. I think I might have some cops outside. Hold on. You heard that, honey? Honey? Cops outside. Yep. The cops are outside. We're coming. Come outside with your hands up. Come on, honey. Someone called the cops. It's alright. We're coming. We're fine. They already know what's going on. I hope.
Plug one. Cat and go. Clear. Okay. It's a gamer shit.
Hell yeah, it's a lot of gamer shit.
Alright. You can tack back. Kenny, 37 house is clear. You can tack back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we just had our first swatting, which is fine because the police knew exactly what was going on. They came by, they talked to me for about 5 minutes about what was going on. They said, thank you for calling us and letting us know ahead of time what was happening, because they fully expected that we were fine. And they had a nice conversation with me for about 5 minutes, said, have a good day, and, you know, continue on. So, ladies and gents, guess what? We're continuing on with Batman. The swatters managed to interrupt me for 5 whole minutes. Let's applaud, everyone. All right, hold on. I got a tweet about this, too. Let's do a nice little tweet. What a bunch of idiots.
The same day, DSP would make a video regarding the situation. He would explain that he tried to warn his police department that this would be something that could potentially happen to him, but when the police department tried to call him, he didn't pick up because his phone was on vibrate. He would say that no one was harmed and the police would look into tracing the call, but it was most likely impossible to find the detractor that did this. DSP was enraged by this incident and said that detractors were putting his life at risk now. He would specifically blame people making negative videos about him causing this indirectly. He would go as far as to say that if anyone else made a negative video about him after this event, that they were evil people.
But I got a few things that I want to get off my chest before I move on, because within a couple minutes here of me finishing this video, I'm moving on with my life. But I got a few things that I got to get off my fucking chest right now. And you can agree with me or disagree with me, but now I've earned my fucking time to say this, alright? It's okay, in my opinion, to criticize, to parody, to do things that will make someone positively see something about themselves that maybe could improve or change. And it's a different thing entirely to maliciously attack and to try to degrade, slander, or hurt someone for the sake of doing it. Just for the sake of it, right? Right now, I'm laying down the fucking law. Alright? And I hope that everyone is listening. I really do. Because this is a very important fucking point right now that I'm about to make. You can criticize me as much as you want, and you could say I'm a horrible gamer, and you could say I'm a bad person, and you could say that I'm this and that, and I don't give a shit. I never in my fucking life gave 2 diddly dicks about what people said about me. And that's why I kept going. That's why I called myself the king of hate. You want to tell me that I suck? Fine. You say whatever the fuck you want about me, alright? But now, things have changed. As they say, the game has fucking changed. Because now I've gotten someone who wants to hurt me physically. And I've let it all go up to now. Of course, I have addressed certain things, and by no means do you think that I'm ever going to address in this video someone specific on the internet. I am not. So don't take that the wrong way at all. From now on, I am publicly stating this, and I hope that anyone with a morality inside of them, whether you like me or not, that you're going to understand where I'm coming from with this. There is criticism, and there is negativity, hate, slander, and a desire to hurt. But I will say this, there is a difference between criticism and what these fucking people have done to me on the internet, alright? And as of right now, I'm laying down the fucking law. If you want to give me legit criticism, go for it. I am never going to reject a legit criticism. But from this moment on, I want everyone who's watching this video, to listen up and to please give this a shot. When you see someone on Twitter saying some shit about me, responding like in a really nasty fucking way to something that I said, when you see a ridiculously one-sided, slanted video on YouTube of stuff, gee, they took a quote from here and a quote from there, and they're working this negative case against Phil, right? I want you to say, Phil almost died. Phil could have been shot to death by these people. Not to say that the people who are making that video or making that tweet are the ones who did this today and swatted me, but those people inadvertently contributed to it. Because the bottom line is, in 2012, when this whole negativity movement started, people loved me. They thought, wow, Phil is a good person on YouTube, and he makes gameplay videos, and he's been here since 2008. He did it for 2 years before he ever made $1 doing it, and people absolutely love his content. All of a sudden in 2012, when people started, oh, let's do this, let's make funny montages of Phil failing, the whole internet changes and goes against me, right? The bottom line is, today, I was threatened physically with murder. And I am not going to put up with this shit anymore, and I'm not going to allow any of these fucking people to think that it is okay to make this negative shit about me, because this is what happens, right? Shame on you if you've ever made a "this is how you don't play" about me, if you ever decided to follow me, make a clone account on Twitter, do this childish shit on YouTube, if you thought it was funny to dox me, if you thought it was the DDoS attacks were funny, you almost got me killed. You. Yes, you. You're responsible. And if you are a human and you have morality in you, you should understand that. You contributed to it. Because no one fucking thought of me in a negative light until that shit fucking started. No one. People understood it was off-color jokes, and it was just Phil trying to be funny. And, you know, I've told you, I'm an imperfect human. I'm certainly not perfect. There have been times when I made mistakes. That doesn't mean that people should fucking die. So fuck you. And seriously, I think that's where I'm going to leave it. Because that's it. That's the bottom line. Today, we're going to see the truth of the matter. We're going to see the true hearts of people. Because if there are people who continue to do the negative shit about me after today when I almost could have died, now you're going to see what kind of people they are. People who say, okay, you know what? Fair enough. We criticized the shit out of Phil. His business has took a big negative hit in the past couple of years because of it. And we all did it in the name of criticism. Today, Phil almost died. I think we'll lay off of him. But there will be people who will still keep it up. Those are the people who you need to look at and say, what the fuck? And everyone just needs to collectively say, enough. Shun that fucking negativity. Take those people and ship them off to their own special corner of the fucking internet where they can have all their little perversions to themselves. And we can be normal fucking people here and enjoy daily experiences together and sharing in stories about gaming and pop culture and fun and positivity and try to help each other through shit like this. And not have to worry about that there's people out there who only are following you because they are fucking really nasty, evil fucking creatures.
Only a few days after the swatting incident, DSP would release another video about him being DDoSed. DDoSing is essentially an attempt to knock someone off the internet or severely impact their internet speeds. DSP would make a 1-hour video explaining how he's been DDoSed for the past 6 months and explain how to fix it. For brevity, he would fix it by simply calling his local internet service provider and getting his IP changed. By July, DSP's Patreon was doing extremely well and he was regularly hitting goals, allowing patrons to choose the games he would play. He would even have stretch goals to allow him to improve the quality of his content and live streams by buying soundproof foam and a new microphone. July would bring one of the most controversial Patreon goals, the revival of Project 7. DSP would meet this goal and have another goal set at almost $2,000 to get a better camera so he can do better reviews and for Project 7, but this goal wouldn't be met. He would even have a $75 individual patron goal so people could donate $75 to be part of Project 7 or another creative project. After hitting this goal, DSP would announce that he would take a couple days off in the month of August from streaming so he could brainstorm ideas, create a teaser for Project 7, and make the first episode.
I'm going to be working on the best and worst of June and July montage for everyone, and yes, I'm going to be working on Project 7. I'm going to be brainstorming ideas on what it would look like to bring it back, to do maybe a kind of a teaser trailer and get some ideas of how to restart that series, okay? In addition, I'm also going to be working on some Patreon stuff tomorrow. My goal is that within the next couple of days that I take off, hopefully I'm not diverted, you know, I have that more focused attention on Project 7. And so by the end of August, what I'd like to do is try to get you maybe a first episode kind of return to Project 7 kind of premise, so you know exactly what the show will be, what it will look like, and what the actual thing will entail.
About 2 weeks later, DSP would announce that Project 7 was cancelled, and he would make it up to fans by reducing the Patreon goals next month by $250.
Number one, this does not mean that I am never doing Project 7. It just means that as of right now, I'm officially announcing I'm not doing it right now. It doesn't make sense, all right? I will possibly, in the future, if I do have a turnaround and I'm not in this much debt and I can get a better camera and I can work on these things a lot better, I'll work on Project 7. But I would rather put out something that's nicely produced and is a good quality thing rather than a turd, okay? Patreon, because it was kind of tied to Project 7, obviously now is going to change. And I want you to understand that I am very deeply sorry that I was not able to put together a Project 7 product for you. I know that it was a goal for the month of August for me to take all this time off to work on Project 7. And I also know that for patrons who pledged a certain amount of money, it was one of your perk levels that you possibly could be a part of Project 7 or another project. Right now, I'm going to be honest with everyone. At this point, I'm taking the Project 7 thing off the table. So if you did pledge to those perk levels on Patreon, you still can be a part of a project. I've already announced this. I'm doing both a Thanksgiving and a Christmas special this year. And they're going to be different. I think Thanksgiving is going to be more gameplay oriented. Christmas is going to be more of like a holiday special like I used to do, where there may be a skit or something involved in it, and I'm going to try to get people involved in helping me with that. So you have opportunity to be a part of either of those if you did pledge to that highest perk level on a Patreon. So don't think that I'm going to renege on my commitment or anything. No, I said from the get-go it would either be Project 7 or something else. Right now, I'm just telling you officially it's not going to be Project 7 because it's not happening now. The earliest I would even consider working on Project 7 at this point would possibly be next year, okay? I'm going to go one step further. I could easily say that's it and end the video. But no, I feel bad. I genuinely feel bad that Project 7 isn't happening. And so, because I had a goal on my July Patreon that was $1,250, right? That I was going to take time off this month to work on Project 7, which never happened. I never took the time off, right? But there was $250 because the goal below that was $1,000. So there was $250 there that was supposed to be to make up for the days that I wasn't going to work. Well, now I'm working on those days. So I'm not just going to pocket that money like these other people who use Patreon or Kickstarter or whatever, and then they never actually come through with their promises. No, that money is going to now be reduced from my future Patreon. So this month, the month of August, right, I have goals right now on Patreon. And right now, as of the moment you're watching this video, I want to let you know I have reduced those goal levels by $250. So you already gave me the money last month. I didn't come through with Project 7 as promised. So that goal level, that money, is being applied to August now. So the top goal level now for August is not $1,250, it's $1,000. If I can raise $1,000 on Patreon, I'm going to be doing an indie marathon, okay? So that's the way for me to come through and not... I could easily just say I'm a dick and pocket the money like some of these people fucking do, but I can't. I couldn't live with myself. I understand that I want this to be a working relationship where you guys watch my content for free and enjoy it. I get to have a living doing this. You pledge to my Patreon, you get cool perks. I have goal levels and cool events and things that I give back to you, but I also get that money for funding and constant improvement and things, right? So I am not going to just pocket that money. It goes towards now August. So all the August goals have been reduced. That money went from July and got taken away from July and placed towards the August levels, okay? So understand, I apologize. If you are very disappointed, you were dying to see Project 7 right away, I'm disappointed too. You know what? I'm going to thumbs down this video on YouTube. I'm going to personally thumbs down my own fucking video because I'm disappointed that shit didn't turn out the way that I'd hoped. But that's life, and you know, we move forward positively.
Around this time, a familiar face would return in the DSP story. John Rambo would make a parody video mocking people using Patreon called Paymetons. Detractors would draw a lot of parallels between DSP and this parody.
Hi, my name is John, and I'm special because I upload videos to the internet. But being so important does have its dark side. In fact, it means that my life is much more difficult than everyone else's. While you're following the average path of working a traditional job, attending school, or perhaps both, I'm following my dreams and busting my ass. Talking over video games, posting breakfast pics, and vlogging about movies that I hate. Creative things, And as we all know, creativity is fueled by pure cash. This is why I've opened a Paymetons account. It's an internet website that allows people like me to receive lots of creativity from people like you. Simply log in and transfer the entirety of your bank account into my Paymetons account. I won't even get out of bed for less than $50. And then together, we'll make sure that the world, well, my world, is a much more creative place.
August would continue to be an eventful month as DSP would receive a copyright strike on one of his videos for using fan art in the pre-stream.
Now, for those of you who watch Ask the King over on my vlogging channel, you know that as of earlier this year, I instituted a new intro to the show that was submitted at that time who I thought was a viewer or a fan or whatever. So I'm like, what the hell? Like, what could this possibly be? The intro to the show is being copyright claimed. Who's Wolf Engine? So I click through it. Come to find out, Wolf Engine is the YouTube channel of the kid who made this intro for me, who told me his name was Jackie Chin or whatever. I don't know who this person, what their real name is, if that really is their name or whatever. When I was live streaming daily, I got a message on Twitter from someone who I never heard of before. Their name was Jackie Chin, and they said, hey, I like to make stream bumpers for people, and I'd like to make you a stream bumper for, I believe at that point it was Saints Row 4 Get Out of Hell, and also for my Dying Light playthrough. And I said, okay, sure, I never heard of this person, take a shot at it. And they sent me this via Twitter, and I ended up liking what this person had done, and I ended up using it in those videos, like in the pre-streams. Here is the actual tweet from this Jackie Chin person from January 29th saying, oh, well, you know, I actually made a potential intro for your Ask the King too. Here it is. So here's definitive black and white proof that this person, Jackie Chin, made this intro and gave me permission. In this tweet, here's the permission to use this intro for Ask the King. Black and white. You cannot dispute this. They made it for me to use in my videos. This is giving it to me to use in a video.
This would be his first strike, and he would receive another one later in August, limiting his ability to stream. He would also get another one in October, again limiting his ability to stream, but he would successfully fight some of these strikes. With Machinima's guidance, DSP would delete and private a lot of videos to prevent future strikes. August would come to an end with DSP clickbaiting "This is how you don't play." This would not be a montage like the typical "This is how you don't play" and just simply be gameplay footage during a live stream. In the month of August, fans would hit another Patreon goal where Phil would need to make a montage series based on a past game he's played. Fans would choose Alan Wake, and Phil would make the announcement in his weekend preview. He would also announce that because the game was so long to play, he wanted people to submit clips to add to the montage.
Good news is there will be a montage in the month of September. It's going to be the best and worst of DSP Classics. Alan Wake. Yes, it was actually Alan Wake, which the patrons voted on throughout the month of August and nominated as the next DSP Classics playthrough. Unfortunately, Alan Wake is a longer playthrough than that. We're talking 5+ hours, if I remember correctly. I think it was like 6-7 hours of a playthrough. And that's great because the game was good, but let's face it, Alan Wake I played in what, 2009, 2010? I don't really remember much of the playthrough. I remember, so really, I couldn't easily go back and make this montage series. So FYI, I have made a thread on thekingofhate.com in the playthrough section of the forums where I please am invoking you, please post up your favorite moments of the playthrough, because people want to see this montage series is what they voted for, but sorry, I don't have 8 hours to sit here and watch my own playthrough, you know what I mean? You are the guys and gals who watched that playthrough, and quite honestly, you probably have a lot more of a recollection of your favorite parts of that playthrough than I do. So rack your brains, think back, head to the forums, nominate your favorite moments, and I'll use that as a guideline as I jump around the videos later this month when I start working on that montage series.
DSP would release part 1 in middle of September, but due to low views, DSP would explain that he would be delaying the rest of the series.
The best and worst of Alan Wake, part 1 released over on Dspgaming earlier this week. Check it out, because there's at least going to be one more part. I'm going to be honest with everyone. Not a lot of people are checking out those montages anymore, whether it's an old game, a new game, whether it's, you know, my month-end montages or whatever. For whatever reason, the viewership has fallen off for those. And I think a lot of people are under the impression they would rather have me play more games. Like, why are you wasting time when you could have done 2 more streams of Metal Gear this week or whatever? Why are you doing this montage? So, fair enough. if this is the feedback I'm getting, because it seems like it's the feedback I'm getting, I'm not going to be doing many of these montages anymore until, say, maybe the end of the year, when we do the best and worst of the year and stuff like that. So at this point, I'll probably do one more part of Alan Wake. That'll just be some really good, interesting parts of the playthrough up until the end of it, and that'll be it. It'll just be a short 2-parter kind of montage of that playthrough, rather than me doing 4, 5, 6 parts like I did with Heavy Rain. I don't think that that's going to retain any viewership. Right now, part 1 of Alan Wake didn't get much viewership, okay?
Part 1 would stand alone as the only part of the Alan Wake montage series. DSP's views would dwindle in September and October. He would go on to state that he had a YouTuber insider explaining to him that he lost all these views because of an algorithm change and because he deleted all those videos in fear of getting copy striked.
Out of nowhere, in the past 2 months, September and October in particular, the viewership here has been lower than usual. And what I mean by that is typically when I play a new game, especially if it's a new release here in this 3rd and 4th quarter of the year, when all the I call it the hardcore gaming season, when all the new stuff's coming out, typically I get a certain amount of attention on the games that I play, okay? Of course, you got the crazy conspiracy theorists, you got the naysayers, you got all these fucking weirdos who like to make shit up about stuff, and, you know, it's all fluff, because it's all just speculation. It's not based on any kind of fact. Finally, I'm going to be honest, what really happened. I was messaged by someone, and I can't really disclose information on who this person is because they basically had it in confidence when they messaged me. And they said, Phil, I just want to let you know that I know you're freaking out for the past couple of months regarding views on Dspgaming. Well, I've got the inside scoop, and, you know, please don't tell anyone how I'm contacting you or whatever, who I am. But the bottom line is this. I know why your viewership's way down, and it's nothing that you've done wrong, and it's nothing that your viewers are doing wrong. It's nothing about the content you're putting out. It's a very simple, stupid thing in regards to YouTube. The videos that I ended up deleting off of Dspgaming to protect me from these false copyright strikes amounted to almost 2 million views. All of a sudden, disappeared from my YouTube channel. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, when you delete a video from your YouTube channel, regardless of the fact that it had views on it, YouTube subtracts those views from your total view count. Huh? So just because I deleted a video today, it never existed? That's how YouTube's system works. And that's why I laugh when I hear about, oh, Google employees are so smart and they hire from Ivy League schools. What fucking buffoon thinks that just because you've deleted something so no one can see it in the future, that it didn't exist in the fucking past? He says, this is how YouTube works. Now listen to how fucking stupid this is. From Ivy League employees at Google, they're so brainy, right? They're supposed to be smart. When you delete a video, it takes away views from your channel. YouTube ranks channels based on how many views they bring in on a monthly basis, and based off of that rank, they actually prioritize and put channels in order dependent on how you're going to get ranked in searches, how your videos will show up in related videos, the chances that your video will show up as a highlight somewhere on YouTube, all right? So even though you made 3 million new views, we're going to subtract 2 million from that, and net for the month of August, you really only brought in 1 million views. What? I had deleted the videos myself to protect myself from YouTube's broken copyright system that I was a victim of. They struck my channel with 5 false copyright strikes in the past 2 months because they're too fucking lazy to institute a real copyright system that protects the uploader. Because of that system being so broken, I was advised by YouTube and my partnership company, Machinima, to delete videos off my channel so I couldn't have further abuse of their own broken system. I did it, and YouTube said, oh, we have another broken system called the ranking system. And because we told you to delete 2 million views worth of videos, we're now going to drop you in the rankings so you don't fucking show up anywhere anymore. So here's what happened. I was basically removed from YouTube search and related videos as of early to mid-September, and so that influx of natural organic growth that I would get, wow, here's someone who's playing this game, I want to check out their video, I'll click it, is gone. I have no natural organic growth anymore because I don't show up anywhere on YouTube except on my own channel. In, I believe it was either mid-2012 or early 2013, YouTube decided to change the search algorithm on YouTube. as I've told you previously in this video, so that you get priority based off the length of your video. And they called it engagement. I don't call it engagement, because they weren't measuring, oh, you watched 75% of someone's video, they're higher than someone who you only watched 20%. That's not what they're measuring. They were measuring length of time. Why? Because they're fucking stupid and they don't understand basic math. They don't understand that watching 3/4 of a video is more important than watching 20 minutes. Time means nothing. Length of time means absolutely fucking nothing. Engagement percentage does. Who cares if you watched a 5-minute video or a 30-minute video, that the 30-minute video gets rated higher, and it does. That's how YouTube works right now. The 30-minute video gets rated higher than the 5-minute video because it's longer. Makes no fucking sense, but again, the brainiacs at Google, right? Because they're Ivy League trained, they know better than everyone else. Yet they make change after change after change that doesn't benefit us. It fucks us, and they benefit while we get fucked. And it's bullshit, because it really is. It's kind of like, what do you do?
Some people, most likely detractors, would ask Phil why wouldn't he get a part-time job to supplement his income, but he would denounce this idea and provide different ways his fans can support him.
The silver lining is this. Number one, even with the fact that my viewership tanked by about 20% in the past 2 months, I'm still making decent money, okay? It's not like, oh my god, I'm destitute, but it's tight. Like, I'm at the edge now, where between what I'm making on YouTube and what I'm making on Patreon is like, wow, like, I can barely pay my bills, but there's no way, like, I have debts from moving that I was hoping to pay down within 2 years. If it keeps up like this and there's no positive change, there's no way. Those debts are going to be around for a while, which means I'm not going to be able to travel. I'm not going to be able to upgrade equipment. I'm just not going to be able to afford any of that, all right? And that's just the reality of it. And it's YouTube's fault. It's 100% YouTube's fault for not having these safeguards in place and having proper systems in place. They fucked me over, all right? Some people, well, why don't you go, some people say, why don't you go get a job? I'm sorry. If you think that me dropping all of this, all this investment, all this time, all this work, this following that I have on YouTube, dropping all of that to go get a part-time job is a smart strategy, you're a nudnik. You just, like, you're in such a mentality that you can't make an internet-based business work. You think that me going to get a $10 an hour job somewhere is going to pay my bills compared to what I do now? You're out of your fucking mind, and it's an insanely silly situation. A lot of people say, well, what's your fallback plan? There isn't any. There never was. The bottom line is, I'm not going to quit. That's the first part of my strategy, is I'm not going to quit. I'm going to try to stay positive. I'm going to keep making videos. If you're watching this video, like I said at the very beginning, if you're someone who watches my content, you like me, and you're like, man, I really want to see Phil succeed, and I'm so upset that this is happening to him these past couple of months, what can I do? And I know a lot of people say, especially in this day and age, with all the negative shit that I've had for the past 2 years about me, but spread the word. Let people know. But did you know that DSP still makes videos? That's what you need to do, is just let people know I still exist and spread the word. Because that organic growth I was getting from YouTube search and YouTube-related videos doesn't fucking exist anymore. And I'll be honest, this is the biggest thing right now that you can do to help me. Patreon, $1 a month. And if all media, oh, Phil made this video to beg for money and blah, 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 blah. Shut the fuck up. Because people love to twist my words into shit. Never did I ever say that people shouldn't be able to use Patreon or take donations or use crowdfunding. The only criticism I've ever given to people doing stuff like that is when they're in the middle of a game and they stop what they're doing to ask for a donation or acknowledge a donation, or they basically, they corrupt the pureness of the gaming. And the gaming is second-hand sidetracked for someone to send the money to get attention. That's what I don't agree with.
In November, fans would ask about John, Rambo, and Howard. Phil would speculate during the Ask the King segment that they had let issues go unspoken and fester inside of them, leading to the breakdown of the friendship.
You'll probably get this a lot, but what's up with you and John Rambo? Did you have a falling out? Is it because you two are far away? I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. Thank you. The bottom line is this. I will be completely 100% honest with you. And, you know, people will probably try to make shit up or say they don't believe me because they want to believe drama queen shit. The bottom line is this. When I lived in Connecticut for years, John and I did co-op commentary, co-op gameplay. We did this show, Smart Guys. We traveled together. We did Street Fighter gameplay together. We did a lot of stuff, projects and everything together. In all of that time, all right, in all of the time that we did that stuff together, I could think of maybe 1 to 2 times ever that we ever had a disagreement on something. And even then, it was something that was minor and that was handled quickly. And it wasn't that we ever let it get to the point where business would hinder friendship. You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of the big risk that you take when you go into business with someone. The bottom line is, never in that entire period of time before I moved out of Connecticut did I ever get any, ever have any ill will or feelings toward John. Never did he have any real major ill will or feelings towards me that I knew of. He never said anything about money. He got paid for everything that he was involved in. He never said anything about money or anything like that. And we had great agreements that were going on. He doesn't ever write me. He doesn't call me. He doesn't text me. Nothing. And I did try actively to contact him and talk to him over the course of the year. And basically, I heard nothing whatsoever from John Rambo at all since then. So I have no idea what happened. If something happened in particular that turned him off or got him angry at me. The bottom line is, it's never been brought up. And I'm going to say this, and I hope that people don't take this the wrong way. But in life, if you have something that you want to say, or you have an issue with someone, all right, say it. Bring it up. Hash it out. Don't let resentment build up behind the scenes for whatever amount of time or whatever. Because that's what happens, is then if something happens and you don't bring it up and you let resentment build up, that's when relationships get ruined, right? And the bottom line is, did I ever hear or even get wind of anything negative from John or Howard or anyone from that camp who I used to do stuff with in Connecticut until I moved? No, not once. And then all of a sudden, once I moved, it was like, that's it. Well, Phil's gone, so now he's out of our lives. It almost feels like to me like they're saying, well, he abandoned us. We used to do all this fun stuff together. He's not here anymore, so now we're mad at him or something. I don't know. But it is, again, it's speculation. Anything that I could possibly say about a John Rambo situation is pure and utter speculation. Nothing ever happened. At least from my side, zippo. I was never contacted, never told, never ever got an inkling that there was something wrong. So if there was anything that ever went wrong between my relationship with John or Howard or anyone back in Connecticut, it's on their side. They let it build up. They let the resentment build up on their side without ever speaking up. And I hate to say it, but in real life, if you're mature, if you are a man, you will speak up about an issue. You will not let it linger and resent and build and fester into some kind of a negative thing where you don't want to talk to someone again. And then you're going to even at some points talk shit about them and stuff. See, I would never do that because I have no reason to talk shit about people who I have always had a great relationship with. So for me, I have no clue if there's any negativity, any resentment. I have no idea, and I'm still in the dark to this day. So that's why when people ask me straight up, what's up with John Rambo? I say, ask John Rambo, because I have no clue. So I don't know what his problem is, and I have no control over it. He doesn't talk to me anymore. He won't even respond. If I text him or call him, I don't get anything back. So from my situation, from my perspective, it's not even a relationship anymore. It's over, and it's 100% on him because I had nothing to do with it. There you go.
DSP telling his fans to go ask them would lead to John and Howard getting harassed on Twitter. This would lead to John and Howard doing an hour and 40-minute response on why they broke off the friendship with DSP. DSP would not react to this until 7 years later in 2022 with an 8-hour react series. Due to the sheer length of John Rambo's response and DSP's reaction, I will cover this in a separate episode just dedicated to this. Due to his low views, Machinima would once again renegotiate DSP's contract, resulting in him having less income. With one of his final videos of 2015, he would really push his Patreon.
The one thing that I really need from everyone right now, all right, first of all, do all the things I suggested in the last video last week to support me. Watch the videos, spread the word. Please continue to stay out of drama. You guys have done a great job this week. I've heard almost no drama whatsoever in regards to myself, nothing. It's just people are watching, people are enjoying, people are having fun, being positive on social media, and I'm not hearing any kind of negative bullshit. People are not getting caught up in the drama of nonsense of the stupid slanderous shit throwing that people do about me, and I'm out of it too because since you don't talk about it, I don't hear about it, and it's been a good week for me. So thank you in regards to that. It's been a great week. Please continue to do so, all right? And of course, Patreon is going to help to make sure that with this pay cut that I'm taking, that I could still afford to pay my bills.
In 2016, DSP would open a new channel called KO Gaming. He had hoped the name of the channel would distance it from himself due to the negativity around the DarkSydePhil brand. Alongside a new channel, DSP would begin doing reaction videos of movie trailers, gaming events, wrestling events, and YouTube drama. Though in February, DSP would find himself in drama when a YouTuber covering the newly released Street Fighter game would reference Phil as a rage quitter.
Rage quitters. When somebody is gonna sit there and get butthurt over losing in a match and shit, and they're just gonna, miles and miles of excuses as to why they're losing, and it can be 1,000,001 different things. It's never a lack of, I don't know, skill. Oh, they don't want to say some shit like that. And then they become fucking DarkSydePhil, and they just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking cry, or maybe fucking rage quit and get out of there. There's no penalty for that shit. As a matter of fact, and them rage quitting can actually gonna help them. And I think that's some fucking bullshit. How the fuck are you gonna overlook something like that?
DSP would initially address Alpha Omega Sin's video on his Twitter, but then go on to a rant on his pre-stream podcast.
100 emails from people saying, Phil, why is Alpha Omega Sin talking shit about you in this video? And I watched the video, and for a good 30 seconds, the guy goes on a ranting tangent about rage quitters in video games, doesn't even really apparently understand what it even means to rage quit in a video game, and then he name drops me as the example, like the poster boy for rage quitting in video games. I have to speak up. Saying, even if he's wrong, you should just let it go. Alright, I've been the bigger man for a long time. I have. I'm very different now than I used to be. When I started out on YouTube, I was very cocky. I thought I was the cock of the walk. I was the big shit. I was the one who was very popular for doing fighting games and stuff on YouTube. And a lot of the fighting game community did not like me for that, because they said, here's a guy who's not even a tournament winner, and here we are trying to be full-time gamers, and we're barely scraping by trying to win tournaments and shit to pay our bills, while Phil is just uploading casual matches to YouTube, and he's known for fighting games, and he makes a living doing it. That's not fair. And a lot of people in the fighting game community hate me for that. I can't help that. I can't help natural jealousy over success. I just can't. YouTubers, as of late now, feel safe. They feel safe at talking shit about me. And the stuff that they say is completely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I've had big YouTubers accuse me of abusing copyright law. That I throw false takedowns at other YouTubers constantly, and I'm known for it, and I'm infamous for it. And I actually was called a dick sucker publicly for doing this, even though I've never ever instituted anything like that on YouTube without legal counsel, meaning I hired a fucking lawyer to tell me whether or not I had a legal claim to anything, and or the interaction of my partner network Machinima. But I get the shit for it, even though I have nothing to fucking do with it, and I've never done anything illegal or superfluous on the internet. And that's just one example of the many, many people who have tried to talk shit about me over the years, and I always let it go. I do. I always say I'll be the bigger man, and I'll just focus on my stuff. But now I've had enough. For two reasons, alright? Number one, I am a pro fighting game player. Not currently, but if ever I want to, I could play a game enough and come back to the community and be a pro level fighting game player if I wanted to. Now, I don't know if I want to, and I'm not going to put up with it anymore. I'm just not. I'm not going to be the butt of everyone's joke. And here's the other reason, because I just brought up number one. I am a tournament winner. I know I'm a good player. Everyone knows I'm a good player who isn't a fucking jackass, and you can't erase that. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to rage quitting. I'm not putting up with the bullshit any fucking more. I'm done with it. I'm absolutely done with it. Anyone who wants to fucking say shit, you're going to get fucking roasted when I get my fucking hands on you. Because there's a lot of shit I could say about a lot of fucking YouTubers, and they're not gonna like it.
Once DSP had calmed down, he would make a second video about Alpha Omega Sin, claiming that people like Alpha Omega Sin was hurting his business and he wasn't going to take it anymore.
He says that rage quitting is an issue in this game. He says, don't you hate it when you're playing a game online and you're fighting someone and there's a guy who he's losing and he's making all these fucking excuses and he won't take credit for his loss. You know, it's never his lack of skill or whatever. There's always an excuse. And then they pull the plug. You know, like the DarkSydePhil. Don't you hate when he pulls the plug on the end? Now, that's paraphrasing. But basically, that's the segment he talks about. Then he goes on to explain how there's no punishment in Street Fighter V for rage quitters, okay? What is wrong with this statement? Very simple. I have never rage quit, period, in Street Fighter, people will make all kinds of arguments that we're going to address. I told you I'm going to have concrete evidence. The first thing I'll address right up front. But Phil, you've quit games before. You've gotten very angry. And just recently you were angry at the Bloodborne DLC and you quit it before you even beat the first boss and all that. That has literally nothing to do with the conversation. This conversation is in particular when it comes to Street Fighter, Street Fighter V, online gameplay, and rage quitting out of a match. I have never done it during a match that was serious. And what I mean by that is you will find one instance on the internet where I actually did drop out of an online match. I can show it to you right now. In fact, it's playing right here. And it's funny because during this whole situation this week, I kind of came out on Twitter. I said, I've never rage quit. I don't know why people are saying that I've rage quit. And someone posted up this particular video. That video in question is from my April Fool's 2013 special where I purposely did it as a joke for April Fool's because I never do it. That was the joke. It's funny how people will steal my content again and upload it on their channel out of context to try to make me look bad when in reality it makes sense when it's in context. So if you scour the internet, the thousands upon thousands of fighting game videos that I've uploaded to YouTube, you will never find a competitive match of online gameplay in a fighting game where I pulled the plug and quit out and didn't give someone credit for the win. It just simply doesn't exist. Now, I'm sure people now, because I've said this, are scouring the internet and maybe they'll find one. The bottom line is this. Thousands of matches, no one has the right to call me an infamous rage quitter and name drop me and use me as an example of a horrible rage quitter. Why the fuck would I rage quit, and how could anyone pull that association out of their asshole and say that I am synonymous with rage quitting? It's completely false. Now, there's two things that I'll address. Number one, why am I bringing this up? Why is it such a big deal to me and my business that I need to bring it up? If I've got someone on YouTube who has so many people that follow them saying in a video that I am an infamous rage quitter, that is going to deter people from watching my videos. Think about it. If you follow this guy, Alpha Omega Sin, you watched this video, you never heard of me before, you heard that I'm a terrible rage quitter, all I ever do in every match of Street Fighter is complain and drop from the match, and then you're looking on YouTube for people playing Street Fighter V and you see DarkSydePhil, chances are you're going to say, well, Alpha Omega Sin said that guy's a fucking rage quitting asshole, and you're going to skip the video. It definitively hurts my business. It's slander. It's completely false. There is no evidence to back this up whatsoever, and I am not going to stand for it. There is no way that I'm just going to sit here and say, well, I'm just going to take it. I'm just going to take it because I'm tired of it. There are so many people who have made me the butt of these jokes on YouTube that I'm the example of the bad gamer. I'm the example of the one who does it wrong. That's why my business has had decline, because I don't speak up and I don't get in the face of these people and say, you're wrong. Now man up and apologize for lying about me. If anything, you have to think the reason it was done was to get a rise out of people so more people will check out this video because he name dropped DarkSydePhil and talk shit about him. Let's start some drama on the internet, right? Of course, since this whole situation came out, people are now saying other things. Oh, well, a rage quit means other things. It could mean that if you're playing a game and you just stop playing the game because you're angry at something happening, that's a rage quit. Listen, rage quit, the word itself has changed and adapted over the past several years. So any other version of rage quit, if I quit another game, oh, here's this match of Injustice where I was playing as Zod and I was mad because the guy was spamming guns against me, so I just walked forward the whole match and let him win the match. That's not a rage quit in the way that we're referring to it here. And if you think it is and you are, I don't care what Phil says, you're wrong. So you can believe whatever you want, and you could be wrong for the rest of your life. What we're talking about here in Street Fighter V is not the same as anything like that. It's never happened, it never existed, and it's bullshit that people would ever try to associate me with this kind of nonsense on YouTube. I know that my business on YouTube has been negatively affected massively by the negative shit that people have put out there about me. Yeah, a lot of people like to see me as the whipping boy of YouTube, the guy who is easy to make fun of. He's the easy target because legally, apparently, he has no leg to stand on. He's certainly not going to sue everyone who says something bad about him because he's not rich. And it's an easy target because everyone seems to have gotten popular by doing it, so I might as well do it too. It's really just become an epidemic. And there's obviously nothing I can do to stop it. But what I can do is when I see a definitive situation like this where someone's going to be blatantly wrong and say something that could hurt my business, I'm going to make a video like this one where I'm calm and composed, take some time to get the steam off before I film the video, and then I'm going to show you the evidence in front of you.
Less than 2 months later, DSP would make a reaction video about Tubituno, capitalizing on the drama surrounding him at the time. DSP would hit another Patreon goal where patrons get to choose his next playthrough. Patrons would choose Persona 3, but DSP would rage quit on the final boss.
I'm not redoing it. I'm done. She's going to heal him. I'm done. I'm done. It's over. It's over. Goodbye. It's over. That's it for Persona 3, ladies and gentlemen. That's the worst final boss fight I've ever done in an RPG. That's not an exaggeration. That is the worst final boss fight I've ever done. And I'm not redoing it. So I don't care about the end of the game. I spent, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 4 months. And I'm not doing it again. That's a complete waste of time. That was 90 minutes of one boss fight. The worst designed boss fight I've ever done in a fucking RPG. I'm done. The playthrough is over. I'm not playing this game again. That is it. I'm not wasting any more time. I'm done. That is it. Complete garbage. That is complete hack game design.
DSP would leave the playthrough incomplete until 2018 when he would finally finish it after 2.5 years. During a pre-stream in May, DSP would accidentally leave the camera on. Though nothing was seen, it was obvious that he was masturbating at the time.
Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
Interest in DSP would skyrocket due to this incident in the month of May, and it would be the most relevant time since his peak in 2010. DSP would address the incident the next day, obviously embarrassed by it as anyone would be.
I'm certainly not going to hold it against anyone for joking about something that happened that was completely hilarious in my opinion. I mean, I'll be honest, at first I was incredibly embarrassed, but after the initial shock of knowing what happened, I cannot stop laughing about it. Seriously, like the memes, all the shit going on the internet right now is absolutely out of control. And I think it's funny. I really do think it's funny. I do. I don't know about anyone else. A lot of people are like appalled. Oh my god! Come on. Yes, because we all know that, you know, it's such an unnatural thing. It's such a horrible, horrendous action. Everyone, you know, whoever has done it should be burned at the stake. Then again, everyone who's done it probably didn't inadvertently live stream it. But that's what happens sometimes. That's the risk that people who put their life out on the internet daily take. And I took the risk, and there was a slip. It wasn't a nip slip, but it certainly was a slip. That was an unintended slip. So anyway.
In the same month, DSP's review of Homefront would go viral on KO Gaming, a much needed boost in viewership. With this viral video and the relevancy he received due to the incident, DSP had an opportunity to revive his channels. But DSP would lose momentum because he would go on another staycation to downtown Seattle in July. Also, he would split his attention across multiple channels instead of focusing on just one, diminishing how much of an impact he could make and limiting his growth. Phil would make videos that wouldn't get him views, choosing unpopular topics for his intended audience. One such example would be a video about identity theft that would get him less than 10,000 views. DSP would continue to choose topics and games that would be against his audience's wishes, and this would lead to low views. DSP would notice the low views and said he would try not to pay attention to it because it would affect his content.
My streams, and it seems in my videos. Honestly, I'll be really honest with you. I don't know because I haven't even checked the viewership on my videos. I'm playing the games, I'm uploading the videos, and I'm trying not to let it negatively affect me. Because I found in the past, historically, that if I play a game and I notice that not a lot of people are watching the playthrough, that I get this, like, in the back of my head, it's a nagging feeling about money and finances and shit like that, and it bothers me, and it can negatively affect the playthrough. And I don't want it to, because the bottom line is I'm liking both of the games I'm playing this week, so I'm kind of like trying not to pay attention to what's going on YouTube with viewership, because I don't want it to have any kind of an effect on my gameplay experiences, okay? But at the same time, I've noticed, honestly, that the streams have not been huge. You know, on Tuesday, we had a good amount of people for the premiere of both Deus Ex and King of Fighters, And then yesterday, we literally had about half the attendance. So in one day's time, half the people who checked out the premieres decided not to come back the next day. That's not good. All right? Now, I don't know if it's just a symptom of the games not being very fun to watch. I don't know if it's a symptom of people are playing the games themselves and don't want to be spoiled. I have absolutely no idea. All right?
By October of 2016, DSP's views fell so low, he reached out to his audience pleading for help. He would make 2 videos in the same day, one in his pre-stream and another in his weekend preview, pleading for his audience to help him this month.
The bottom line is this. My business isn't doing so well, and I don't know what's going on. Allow me to explain. Earlier this year, my business was doing well. October, November, and December, when all the new games are coming out, I see a spike in views, and I see a spike in income because of it. And I depend on it, because this is something that helps me at the end of the year to pay my taxes, to pay off my impending bills, things that I built up over the summer that really I couldn't pay off because I wasn't making a lot of money. This is kind of how YouTube works. You get highs and lows during the year. But I have bad news. I don't know what's going on with YouTube, but according to YouTube, nothing is turning around, and basically I'm like this. I'm completely flat. During the summer, when there were no new releases, the same amount of people are now watching me cover all the new releases. Not one extra person has come back to watch me cover the new stuff. And I have a very hard time believing this. I really do, okay? So let's talk honestly here, all right? Here's the deal. Right now, I'm nervous because I don't know what's going to happen. Typically, what happens is the end of the year, we get this spike and it helps me out. And now, if I don't get any kind of an increase in viewership, in income in the next 3 months for the end of the year, which is the big push, you get the most ad revenue and everything, I don't know if realistically I'm going to be able to do this full time as a business. And that's terrible because this is an 8-year legacy. So all I can say is this, everyone. The reason I'm bringing this up in the weekend preview, I love doing this. And the weekend preview is the pivotal day of the week when I get to tell you all the stuff that I'm covering. Very shortly, if by the end of the year this doesn't turn around, I don't think you're going to be seeing me around as much as you did, if at all, because I won't be able to do YouTube as a job anymore. I was actually, literally, I was on the phone with my mother today, talking to her about this, and she's like, well, how could you get out of all that debt? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Declare bankruptcy and ruin my credit and having to move out of this house? You know what I mean? It's like, if I could just make the money that I was making last year before all the trolling happened that really screwed me over, I'd be fine. I'd be more than fine. I'd be able to save money, and I'd be able to pay off my debts. And those kids that fucked with me last year with those false copyright strikes really have no idea how much they hurt me. Like, someone could have run up and stabbed me, and if I survived it, probably would have been less damaging than what those fucking kids did to me last year. I mean, I'm devastated. So what can you do? You are the avid viewer. You are the person who likes my stuff, who watches the weekend preview, who wants to know what can you do. Well, keep doing what you're doing, because according to YouTube, you're doing the positive stuff. You're liking the videos. You're sharing the videos. You're watching for longer. Like, I can't fault anyone on the opposite side of this camera, because according to YouTube, you guys are doing the right thing. Like, the proof is there. The evidence is there that you are loving the stuff and you're doing the right thing. So, to me, I just got to be like, I don't know, right? I can't. What do you blame? How do you blame anything? I don't know. So it is what it is. You're doing the right stuff. The only things that I can say you can do, maybe if you're not doing some of those things I just mentioned, please do. And over here, of course, Patreon. And, you know, every once in a while, first of all, I only plug Patreon very rarely. But the bottom line is I need help, whether it's more views somehow, or spreading the word about my videos, or Patreon. Because I've said this a million times and people take it for granted, all right? I don't advertise a lot, so not a lot of people hear about Patreon. It's very simple. It's this simple. Do you watch the weekend preview every week? Think about it. Do you watch some of my gameplay videos every week? Are they entertaining to you? Or do you watch my vlogging every week? DSP Tries It, which has been the longest running DSP series pretty much ever, right? Do you watch my new edited content over on KO Gaming? If your answer to any of those is yes, and the answer is I want to see it continue, Patreon is the way to make it happen. Seriously, I'm serious about this. If 10% of the people, 10%, 1/10, who watch my videos and live streams pledged $1 a month to my Patreon, I would not ever care about YouTube views. I would not ever care about YouTube ad revenue. You never have to hear me have a segment like this again in a video, okay? It's $1. $1 a month. What is that to you? A pack of gum? You know what I mean? I'm sure you throw $1 away on stupid shit every month, but you could use it on much more useful stuff, like allowing me to continue to do this 8-year fucking legacy as a business in the future. $1 a month. It's not a lot, okay? Please, if you have never considered pledging to Patreon before, but you like my stuff, please consider doing it if you can do it. Listen, I understand to those who can't, but if you can, I mean, I'm being real with you now. I need the help because I don't know what the fuck is going on with YouTube. I can't change positively when YouTube's telling me everything I'm doing is positive, yet I still have low views and I'm not making any money. It doesn't make sense. So it's got to come from somewhere else. And if Patreon is the way to do it, then Patreon has to be the way to do it, all right? So please, pledge to Patreon. If we could get a significant increase in Patreon pledges this month to show a rally of positivity that I can still make this happen, think about that. That's going to hit me full head of steam into the end of the year, getting, you know, super confident, editing these videos. Right now, I'll be honest with you, like, I'm excited, but I'm very worried. And I don't want that to come through when I'm playing a game or I'm doing something that I'm worried about the future of my business, and now I'm not having fun anymore, or I'm frustrated because I want to get this fucking video out, just get the fuck out of here because I'm so frustrated. I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be positive. Earlier this year, I was so overwhelmingly happy and positive. I don't know what the fuck happened over the summer that everything changed like this. I don't.
A week later, DSP would announce that October was the best month in Patreon he's had thanks to his fans. But he would go on to say that he still needs help to keep going. He would ask viewers to pledge at least $1 because you can't buy anything with $1. He will also criticize other content creators in the same video.
And so there's an 8-year legacy on YouTube. And by the way, more videos than probably anyone has uploaded to YouTube besides maybe someone who uploads 5-second clips and spams them like a crazy moron. More significant videos, more videos with actual content. I'm probably the most prolific YouTuber on the entire internet. So because of that, because I'm all about the games and the gameplay and busting my ass making gameplay videos for you, I don't make a lot of money. I'm not like these other fucking people, right? And I'm not using all the tricks of the trade to get high views on YouTube so I can get tons of sponsorship and free games out of the ass like everyone else. There's gamers on YouTube that have not paid for a fucking video game in years. I'm going to say that again. There's gaming YouTubers who have not even bought a fucking game for years. They get everything for free or they get paid to play the fucking games. Not one video they put out is legitimate because it's all paid sponsorships. And that's what people think is good. How? Are you a fucking idiot? You're just watching constant advertisements for free, by the way. You're a moron. You're wasting your time watching these advertisements for free on YouTube, and you think that they're entertaining because, I don't know, maybe you're simpleton. Who else would like this fucking shit? I don't know. I certainly fucking don't. I watch it. I watch 5-10 seconds of it, and I want to fucking vomit and shit at the same fucking time. And I know I have a viewership that's in the same mind frame as me, or else I wouldn't have been on YouTube for 8 years. There's actually a group of intelligent people out there who want my kind of content. Informative, real, right? Not fucking stage scripted entertainment. You're not watching my streams to be entertained every possible second of the fucking stream or every possible second of the video. You need instant gratification. No, you're more mature than that. You understand that you can watch the content and, oh, well, this is what the game is. Now I know if I want to go check it out for myself or not. Or I know I wasn't going to get this game, so I'll watch Phil play it, so at least I know what the game's all about. That's what my content has always been about on Dspgaming. I need help. Right now, I need, first of all, people who are watching my stuff to spread it via word of mouth so that I can keep paying my fucking bills and keep my house and not have it repossessed and shit. I need help. Number 2, Patreon. Because the bottom line is if you already watch my stuff, you already spread the word about my stuff, and YouTube is saying that everyone who watches my stuff is liking it according to all their metrics, right? The only other thing you can do to help me is Patreon. Pledge money to get perks, get stuff back, but also to help me. 2 positive things is that number 1, Patreon, I had an outpouring of support this week for people who pledged to my Patreon. And I just want to say this right up front. Thank you to those who watched the weekend preview last week, believed me, and listened. Because the worst thing would happen is no one believed me, no one listened, and then by the end of this year, that's it, and my YouTube career's done, and I'm gone. And 8 years, a legacy gone, just because people didn't believe me that I was actually in trouble and that I needed your help, all right? People did. This month, October 2016, is going to be, I'm going to have the most number of pledgees ever on Patreon, and I'm probably going to make the most money ever that I've ever made on Patreon before since I started in February of 2015. If right now, like I said, 10% of the people who watch my stuff gave $1 a month, I would never be talking about this shit ever again. So if you're seeing this video, this is the first you're hearing of this, and you watch my daily live streams and or you watch my daily gameplay videos on Dspgaming, you love my vlogging here on the King of Hate Vlogs, and you really like what I've been doing over on KO Gaming with the new video style I've been putting out this year, and you want to see me continue to do this, as little as $1 a month. It's nothing to you in a lot of cases, and I'll say this, I'm fully aware there are some people, viewers of mine, $1 is a ton of money, okay? For us in the United States, it's nothing. We can't buy a pack of gum. We can't buy any food. You can't even buy an onion at your grocery store for $1 in most cases. It's more than that, okay? So $1 to us is nothing. Understand that's from my frame of reference that I say that. But if a bunch of people pledge $1, it means a lot. It could keep me doing this in the long term. So thank you to those who have pledged. Please, I hope you keep your pledges moving forward, because that's going to support me and allow me to keep doing this. And if you have not pledged yet, get in on it. I'm telling you, this is how I'm going to be able to do this long term, and it'll get me up in the morning energized and positive that people want to see me keep doing this, rather than me every day stressing out about fucking views and who's going to show up and who's going to watch what game. That's why I adopted Patreon last year to begin with. So if I could make enough money doing it, that I don't have that pressure. The problem is, last year the false copyright strikes completely fucked my business. And now I'm not in the position where I'm sitting pretty and Patreon's helping me with that anymore. I just need to pay my fucking bills. Okay? It's to the point now where, like, I keep explaining to people, I'm in dire straits, I need help, I need to advertise, you need to participate. And then I do my pre-stream where I do a few ads a day for maybe 10 minutes, and everyone in the stream chat bitching, like a little entitled kid. More ads, he's doing it again, what the fuck? I want to give you a free 3.5-hour gameplay stream, and you're complaining because I'm giving a few plugs beforehand to pay my fucking bills. I mean, talk about being immature and not a logical being that just doesn't understand how fucking business works, that you're gonna sit there and complain, really. But I digress. That's it. That's the only time I even advertise, is that. You know what I mean? You never see a video on YouTube, oh, by the way, do this and this and give me money for this and this. Never do I make that kind of video. This is a rare occurrence in a video like this now where I'm actually talking about this stuff. So I never found this huge gimmick. You know, for PewDiePie, it was screaming at the camera like a little girl, and everyone laughs because he sounds like a little pussy, right? For Angry Joe, it's because he dresses up and does comedy skits, and he puts tons of time and effort into his reviews, but let's face it, why does he get those views? Because he dresses up and does comedy skits. That's why. Not because of the review, because it's an entertainment video that's fluff. That's why people watch this shit on YouTube, and I've never made a fluff fucking video. I mean, maybe that's my problem, because everything I do is actually worthwhile and can teach you something, and you can learn something, you know, from a video that I put out there. Maybe that's why I'm not popular, because people aren't looking for information and for quality, they're looking for fluff, and they're just looking to fucking, I don't know, you know, I just don't get it. I don't need to be popular on YouTube. I don't care about getting 1 million subs and having people donate the fuck out of everything to me. I don't care about any of that. I just want enough to pay my bills, to have a little life here with my girlfriend Leanna, and to keep sharing my experiences with you daily. That's all I want. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be fucking famous. I don't want the world. I just want something that's a little reasonable.
Despite having one of the best months of the year for Patreon, DSP's viewership would continue to dwindle. In one stream, DSP would state that he was doing quality content, but his viewers weren't there. He would call his viewers lazy for not showing up to his live stream.
Okay, everyone, well, now I hope you had fun. Being that I knew people were enjoying the playthrough, I decided to go a little extra long today. As you saw, I went a whole extra hour on stream, which I hope you appreciate. Quite honestly, let me take a look, because I have not looked at stream numbers all day. My god, the stream numbers were terrible. Wow, what happened? We never even, hold on. I'm actually trying to go back here. Did we ever even get close to 400? We didn't, did we? At least from what I can see, I can't see the entire length of the stream, but from what I can see, which is back till around like 3 p.m., it looks like we barely even had 300 on stream. Wow. I don't know what's going on. Listen, here's the bottom line, and I'm tired of it now. No more excuses, all right? Because the bottom line is people are like, Phil's not engaged in his commentary, and Phil's commentary is boring, and that's why people don't want to watch the playthroughs of the streams. Bullshit. I'm loving this game. I'm voice acting. I'm engaged. I'm commentating on everything that's going on actively. Bullshit. I call massive bullshit on any idiot who says that about either the Watch Dogs 2, which I've been playing recently and really liking, or Pokemon. It's bullshit. I call complete and utter bullshit on anyone who's saying that I'm not engaged and I sound like I'm bored. I'm not. So I've had enough excuses. It just seems to me like people are fucking lazy and don't want to come out to the streams. I don't even know what else to say, you know? Jim Bob says that at one point we had around 350. Well, I mean, this is kind of ridiculous that I can't even get 400 people for a live stream anymore of new games. You know what I mean? It would be like new games. It's one thing if this were like an old game that I was playing, it was boring and, you know, it was an older game most people didn't care about. It's a brand new game. And I can't even get 400 people on stream. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, I don't know. Like, I'll be honest with everyone. I enjoyed the stream today. I had a lot of fun. I did. I had a lot of fun playing this today. But what is the point of doing all the setup for the live stream? Right now, we're at the end of the stream. I've got 230 people on stream. Why? You know, I'm confused. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But that's the thing. Now people, if I don't stream, people will complain. Why aren't I streaming? Well, because you didn't show up. That's why. If you showed up for the stream, I would bother with it, but it's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I'm really heavily considering not streaming this game anymore, you know? I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I had fun. I want to say thanks to those of you who were here for the stream, obviously. But, I mean, even you can see, I mean, it's black and white. It's black and white at this point that my daily live streams, people aren't turning up for them, you know?
DSP would somewhat apologize for this event, saying he said this out of frustration. He would go on to blame his detractors for taking it out of context, causing him to get a lot of hate for this. ReviewTech USA would respond to his event on Twitter, and it would upset Phil because this was very public and would draw even more hate to him.
And the bottom line is, the day one, the viewership was great. Day two, yesterday, the viewership wasn't great. We started out with a certain amount, and it just went all the way down, trailing down during the course of the stream. Now, for me, I can't figure it out. All right, I can't. Logically, I can't figure it out why that would happen because I'm enjoying the game. The people who are in stream chat are telling me that they're loving this stream. It's one of the best streams I've done. The viewer, you know, for a viewer who's engaged and liking that I'm engaged in the game, they're telling me that the content is great. So why is the viewership going boo during the course of the stream? I don't know, and I have to call bullshit because most people have come out and said, well, Phil, it's because your commentary isn't good. It's because your commentary has been boring as of late. It's been blasé. It seems like you're not engaged. You're not enjoying the games you're playing. You're just doing this for a job. And that's why people aren't excited in your stuff. I have to call bullshit. Pokemon has been anything but that. All right? And it would be one thing if I was just going through the motions. I'm not with this game. I'm really actively working to make this an entertaining playthrough, and I'm entertained by the game, so I know that that's coming through in the videos. So when I see viewership going, boo, that tells me that that downward trend has nothing to do with actually what's coming through in the videos at all. And I don't know how to fix it, you know? And that leads to frustration. So what ended up happening yesterday, okay, is at the end of my stream, I looked at viewership, and I said, well, sorry, everyone, but, you know, it looks like viewership plummeted today. And I don't know why, but as we've already had this conversation, all right, I'm not going to continue to live stream this game because it looks like people aren't coming out for it anymore. Now, admittedly, then, with my frustration in my head, I said something completely wrong, something I shouldn't have said, something that, of course, every motherfucker on the internet who steals my videos, who illegally records my streams, and who takes every fucking comment I ever say out of context to find that one moment when I say something wrong. Here's what I said. I'll publicly admit it because it's out there, duh. And I didn't mean it. As I said, well, it must just be that people are lazy. People want to see my streams, and people are asking me for streams, and they're begging me, and they're upset that I'm not going to live stream. But then when I do a great quality live stream, they don't show up, so they're just lazy. Obviously, that's not actually what I feel. There's got to be something going on, right, to make people not feel engaged and not stick around for the length of a stream. Because I said that, that's it. So the whole internet now has to tear me a new asshole because Phil said something at the end of his stream on fucking Saturday. So that's it. So now you got these kids who literally, and I'm not kidding, this is not an exaggeration, there's kids who literally every day record my entire fucking stream illegally, which is completely illegal. You can't record anyone's live streams or videos on YouTube. They do it, and they take that one moment. They don't have any of the discussion about how my business is down, how I really need help, and I'm trying to get suggestions for improvement. And one of the major suggestions for improvement has been to cut down on live streaming. And we had this whole experiment this week with Pokemon that if attendance stayed up, that I would keep streaming, and that it didn't stay up, and all of a sudden it was down, and I was very disappointed that none of that in context. The one thing that's put up, Phil saying, man, these people are really lazy because they're not coming out to watch my streams. Of course that makes me look like a fucking piece of shit. Of course it does. And people will say, well, how's it out of context if you said it? Because you didn't give the whole fucking perspective of everything that's been going on for the past fucking month. Of course it's out of context. Of course it makes me look bad. Duh. But the problem is people don't fucking do the research. They don't take the 5 seconds to figure out what the situation was. Instead, they just watch the one thing and say, well, Phil's a piece of shit. Wow. Phil is a major piece of shit. To say something like that makes Phil a piece of shit. And you know what? If I knew nothing about myself, and I knew nothing about my 8 years on YouTube, and I knew nothing about the frustration and what I'm going through right now with my business, and I knew nothing about any perspective whatsoever, and all I saw was a video that says Dspgaming says his viewers are lazy, and I clicked on it, and the one thing you hear is, wow, my viewers are lazy because they didn't come to my live stream, I would hate me too. But that's not reality, and that's not life, right? That's not the truthfulness of the situation. And quite honestly, that's why people hate me on YouTube. That is definitively number one, the reason that people hate me on YouTube. It's not that I said that. It's that some fucking idiot spins it to say that's the only thing Phil ever said. Here's the negative thing Phil said. In regards, it's Rich from Review Tech USA, who watched the video from the kid who steals my stuff on a daily basis, that piece of shit, watches this fucking out of context video, and he tweets me and he says, Phil, you know, this video is the reason why people are turned off to your streams and turned off to you as a person on YouTube and your content. This is why people hate you on YouTube, because of comments like this. And I look at it and immediately I'm like, but this is a completely out of context comment, right? It's the one moment of weakness where I said something bad that I openly admit now I apologize for. It was wrong. I shouldn't have said that, and it's certainly not the case. I don't think my viewers are lazy. That's bullshit. And that was just the frustration of it just coming out of me and me saying it wrong. But anyway, Rich sees this and he tweets it, and he's well-intentioned, and I appreciate that he tweeted it because I look at it and I'm like, wow, Rich is right. Looking at just that moment of what I said, completely out of context, makes me look like a piece of shit, and he's absolutely fucking right. And I shouldn't say stuff like that publicly, and that's a shortcoming of mine, because I'm so real, because I talk about this stuff with you, and I share this personal experience with you on YouTube all the time. Stuff like that, that's a mistake, comes out, and that's what becomes the focus of the negative assholes on YouTube, right? But at the same time, I don't think Rich realizes that when he makes tweets like that, especially when it's 5 in the fucking morning for me and I'm asleep and I can't respond to it, that all it does is cause problems for me. Because when he tweeted that, immediately all his viewership went and watched the fucking video. So all that happened is that hundreds, if not thousands of people who follow his Twitter went and watched the video and said, wow, DSP's a piece of shit. Allow me to explain many things, because I want to clarify for everyone definitively the truth of the matter. Because the bottom line is, what you hear from everyone else on the fucking internet, and what you hear from this video over here, and this tweet over here, and these shitheads over here, is not the truth. What you hear from me is the bottom line when it comes to myself and my stuff, alright? Please, please, I have to implore you. When you see or hear something that I say that seems out of context, that seems weird for me, Phil normally wouldn't just insult the viewers out of blue and say that they're lazy. I mean, Phil live streams 365 days a year. Phil puts out gameplay videos 365 days a year. Out of the 365 days, were there 2 days this year where maybe he said something that didn't seem right? You know what I mean? But that's the focus that everyone's got to fucking talk about, because they got to get their cheap views, they got to get their cheap attention, because they're scumbags. Those people have nothing to add positively to the planet. I don't need to hear the one moment of weakness where I insulted I insulted people because I was fucking so frustrated about stuff, and obviously I'm an idiot for saying that, and I apologize for it. That doesn't help. And I think that's these idiots who they think that we're just exposing Phil and we're making him see who he really is so that he'll improve. That doesn't make me improve, you idiot. Putting a one out of context video on the internet doesn't fucking help me improve. Are you that stupid? Yeah, you all must be. Because That only kills me. All you're gonna do is make me completely be destroyed and never be able to make a video again that anyone would ever want to watch, because every time they search for DSP or Dspgaming, they see Phil insulted his viewer base, says they're lazy. Phil made a Nazi joke. Phil did this, Phil did that. And they see these, 30, 40 occurrences over an 8-year span that make me look nasty. And of course, this is how you don't play videos, rather than, the 40,000 fucking great gameplay videos that I've put up on the internet, the hundreds of reviews that I've put up on the internet. You got something to say? Anyone, I mean this. Send me an email, DarkSydePhil@hotmail.com. You can PM me on Twitter, which I think you can send PMs. I don't even know. There's multiple ways you can reach me without making shit public like that. You know what I mean? Because all it's going to do is just incense more people, right? Because now, even though Rich is well-intentioned, I am very appreciative because he basically calls me out on me doing something really stupid. Okay, but then I look at, well, great, because now there's going to be 1,000 people who see that and hate me even more. That's just what I needed today when I wake up, right? Getting ready for my live, I wake up in the morning, get ready for my live stream, I look on Twitter, what the fuck? God damn it.
It had been 2 years since DSP left Twitch due to an admin telling him to reduce his streaming quality. In October, fans were asking DSP to go back to Twitch to stream on there as a potential solution to his financial trouble. DSP would refuse to do this due to him not wanting to be a shill.
Another suggestion, and I'm going to very, very clearly explain to you why this is not going to ever happen. Phil, just go back to Twitch, bite the bullet, go back to Twitch TV, and stream there exclusively, and stream like everyone else on Twitch TV, where you do streams that are catered toward your viewing audience, so it's more of an interactive stream between you and your audience than anyone caring about the game that you're playing, and we guarantee you that you'll get subs and you'll get more attention and stuff like that, alright? I have many responses to this, okay? First of all, bullshit. And I call it right now, bullshit. Anyone who thinks that going back to Twitch TV and streaming there is the magic solution to all of my problems is just so deluded, alright? It may temporarily give me some kind of a boost, but it's not going to give me any kind of long-term growth. I'm getting nothing out of streaming on Twitch. I'm not a constant shill and advertiser like they want me to be so I can make money through subs. I'm not willing to degrade the quality of my gameplay or streams to get subs on Twitch. So, what's the benefit? Now I'm being told I can't even record and stream at the quality that I want. I'm sorry, and I know a lot of people love Twitch, and everyone's like, oh, but Twitch is the go-to. Twitch is the go-to place for streaming because they were in the right place at the right time. It's not because of their business practices. It's not because of the quality of what they do. It's not because of any of that. It's just because they were lucky. That's it. That's the only reason that Twitch is as popular as they are. If someone else had done the same thing they did before they did, or at the same time they did, they would not be as popular. Because the bottom line is Twitch is a bad business. Twitch is not a good place to put out quality content.
Less than a month later, DSP would return to Twitch. At the end of the year, DSP would express his frustration with the lack of views and his stagnation on YouTube. He would inform his audience that he's extremely nervous about the new year due to the lack of new releases. New releases make up a big chunk of his viewership.
On Twitch, I'm starting to get data. Okay, what would be a stream people are going to show up for and like versus what's a stream that people will not show up for? I got to do things that work out for you that you want to see, but also that I can be profitable so I can keep doing this as a job. And it's funny because, whenever I mention money, how dare Phil mention money? I'll tell you why I mention money. Because this is my job, and unlike 95% of the other YouTubers that you're probably watching, I'm not making a lot of money doing it. I'm not making ridiculous amounts of money and rolling in dough. At this point, I'm barely paying my bills because of all the negative shit that happened on YouTube this year around summertime and moving on, and I've got to keep being real with you about it so you know the situation. Because the bottom line is, if I can't do this tomorrow because I gotta go get another job, you want to know why, right? And there are ways to prevent that, but I gotta keep you in the know and informed. The YouTube side of things, not going so well. I'll be honest. If things continue, because I got 3 days left in the month, but YouTube statistics are staggered by around 3 to 4 days too. So really there's like a week left in this month, okay? From everything that I can see, all right, it looks like roughly October, November, and December for me were like this, kind of flat. And what that means is there was no real increase in interest. There was not any, new group of viewers who came and watched my stuff on YouTube at all. But since like the summer, none of my stuff shows up in YouTube Google search at all. You can't find I want to see a playthrough of Final Fantasy 15. You'll type in Final Fantasy 15 gameplay or Final Fantasy 15 walkthrough or let's play Final Fantasy 15. And I'm probably on page 5,723, even though I've done a 50-plus hour playthrough of the freaking game. It sucks. This is what YouTube did to me last year with those false copyright strikes and all of that crap, okay? So again, 2 years in a row, busting my ass the end of the year to cover all these new games, and it didn't really pay out for me, which sucks. And I'll be honest, I'm nervous, because now what's going to happen, this is what happens every year, we now head into the slowest time of the year, January. January is the deadest month and always is. The good news is, okay, there is some good news here. Patreon seems to be steady. I was nervous back in the summer when all of a sudden my Patreon dipped like crazy, and 1 month we didn't even hit the funding goal for the month. First time ever. Since I told all of you about these serious troubles I've been having in October, the Patreon skyrocketed, and then as I expected, it's kind of going down, but it's still exceeding the goal. So as long as the Patreon stays steady, that's good. So please, by all means, everyone, if you support me, you want to see me keep doing this as a job, please check out my Patreon, patreon.com/DarkSydePhil, and consider pledging, okay? That's good. So the Patreon is still steady. Twitch now, all of a sudden, I'm going to have a new revenue source in Twitch. So that's a good thing. Now, I don't know if that's going to stay consistent or it was great for the first month and now that's going to taper off too. I have no idea. But at least for the first month here that I've been streaming on Twitch, things are good. All right. So that's the good news. Twitch is increasing income great and Patreon is steady. But I'm really nervous about these first few months of 2017. What is going to happen with me not having high-profile releases to play? Am I going to see a giant dip in, views? Am I going to see a giant dip in revenue now? Because ad revenues are going to drop on YouTube. What's going to happen? I don't know. It's very uncertain and shaky right now, okay?
One comment on that video would state, stop blaming the content and look inward. It seems that DSP's audience knew what the issue was with his channel, DSP himself. To many detractors and fans, it seemed like the issue was obvious, but DSP just couldn't see it. Phil would blame the detractors and content rather than himself, hoping one day the views would magically come back to him. For now, we will stop here. As always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you want to continue this series, and thank you to all of my members that have joined my channel.